look like King Julian. I love him.
Hello, if you're watching this, congratulations. You still have unrestricted internet access. That means you're either over 55, politically irrelevant, or watching this from outside the country. So welcome to the future. No civil war, no collapse, no dramatic moment where everything broke. America didn't fall, it adjusted. Back in your time, people thought authoritarianism would be obvious, loud, violent, ugly. They thought it would announce itself. It didn't. It arrived quietly, like a software update you forgot to read. Elections still happen here. We just don't argue about them anymore. Not because they're fair, but because arguing was classified as destabilizing behavior. The Constitution is still preserved. You can see it at the National Archive, right next to the dinosaurs. People ask how this happened. It's simple. When every institution became partisan, every fact became optional, every crisis became permanent, and every criticism became dangerous. Power stopped needing force. Back then, half the country thought the problem was authoritarianism. The other half thought the problem was people talking about it. The government didn't pick a side. It just waited. People didn't lose rights all at once. They lost reach, visibility, employment, financial access. Then they lost their voice. Then they lost interest. Americans used to say, at least we're not like those other countries, which was true. Those countries noticed what was happening. If this sounds exaggerated, good. That's exactly what people said the first time, too. America would never fall to a dictatorship. Every country, 5 minutes before falling to a dictatorship. Let's clear something up right now. America doesn't have anti-dictator DNA. It has good marketing. If the US ever became a dictatorship, it wouldn't be overthrown. It would be explained, branded, and defended on cable news. Ah, yes, the United States of America. Land of the free, home of the brave, and according to the internet, physically incapable of becoming a dictatorship because of the Constitution, the Founding Fathers, and vibes. Because as we all know, dictators famously stop when you show them an 18th century document and say, "Sir, that's unconstitutional." So today, let's talk about why. If the US ever fully slid into a dictatorship, it probably wouldn't magically bounce back. Not with a revolution, not with freedom eagles, not even with a very angry tweet thread. We'd overthrow it. No, you'd live stream it. Let's start with the classic argument, Americans would never tolerate a dictator, right? This is the same country where people won't boycott companies unless it's mildly inconvenient. Protests are scheduled between work shifts. Half the population thinks resistance means changing their profile picture. People won't protest if parking is inconvenient. A mild weather alert cancels half of society. And civil resistance means posting "this isn't okay" and then logging off. The people would rise up. LMAO, rise up from where? From their couch? During a commercial break? Between DoorDash orders? A dictatorship wouldn't be overthrown. It would be debated, podcasted, merchandised, and then forgotten by next week. By the time people agree whether the dictator is actually a dictator, he's already on his third term and selling commemorative coins. The revolution would last one afternoon and end because someone needed to get home before traffic. The illusion of checks and balances. People love saying the system would stop it. Buddy, the system is made of people. Courts, appointed. Laws, rewritten. Agencies, defunded or loyalized. Elections, technically held, just not meaningful. Modern dictators don't cancel democracy. They cosplay it. They don't say, "I'm in charge forever." They say, I won overwhelmingly. Again, don't ask questions. And if you think the courts will save us, remember, courts don't enforce rulings. Power does. The Constitution will stop it. Bro, it's a PDF. Americans treat the Constitution like it's a magical force field. Newsflash, it's a piece of paper that only works if people in power feel like respecting it. Dictators don't tear up constitutions. They reinterpret them. Oh no, we didn't suspend rights. We clarified them. Oh no, elections still exist. They're just spiritually optional. The Constitution wouldn't stop a dictator. It would be quoted out of context to justify him. Americans can't even agree reality exists. You think Americans would unite against a dictator? Buddy, Americans can't agree on science, elections, history, math, or whether birds are real. A dictator wouldn't even need propaganda. He'd just say nothing and let the internet fight itself. Half the country would say, this isn't authoritarianism. The other half would say, it is, but I don't like the people pointing it out. And the dictator? He's golfing. Dictatorship, American edition. It wouldn't look scary. No uniforms, no goose-stepping, just temporary emergency powers, national security concerns. For your safety, both sides are extreme. Oppression, but make it corporate. The surveillance state DLC, you already lost. You think you'd organize resistance? Every revolution fantasy assumes one thing: privacy. Good luck. Your phone would be like, hey, we noticed you Googled how to overthrow the government. Would you like to talk to a therapist or a federal agent? A dictatorship wouldn't need secret police. Why would they if they already have? Your location, your purchases, your searches, your face, your voice. Phones that snitch harder than medieval villagers. Your apps would do it for store credit. You wouldn't organize a rebellion. Your phone would auto-suggest one and flag you for it. Guns won't save you. Sorry, action movie brain. Yes, Americans own guns. Cool. Against what? You are not fighting. Drones, satellites, financial systems, internet shutdowns, militarized police, or the IRS with a grudge. This isn't Red Dawn. This is Excel spreadsheets and airspace control. Also, let's be honest, half the armed population would side with the dictator if he promised cheaper gas and said mean things about the people they already hate. Guns don't equal revolution. This isn't 1776. You're not fighting redcoats. You're fighting algorithms, logistics, and bureaucracy. Americans love to imagine themselves as rebels, but modern Americans don't rebel, they review. This authoritarianism gets 2 stars, would not recommend. If the Founding Fathers saw today's political engagement, they'd fake their deaths again. Comfort is the real dictator.
Quiet, piggy. Quiet. Quiet, piggy.
Here's the real reason the US wouldn't overcome a dictatorship. Not with tanks, but with convenience. As long as Netflix still works, Amazon still delivers, the lights stay on, sports still happen, and the paycheck clears. Most people will adapt. Authoritarianism doesn't arrive with jackboots. It arrives with subscription tiers. You can speak freely for $9.99 a month. Freedom wouldn't be taken. It would be downsized. Some features are no longer available in your region. The global context nobody likes to mention. Other countries didn't fail because they were weak or stupid. They failed because institutions eroded slowly, media fragmented, truth became partisan, and people assumed it can't happen here. Sound familiar? The US isn't special. It's just louder. Protests today are heavily surveilled, predictable, easily ignored, and over by sunset. A dictatorship wouldn't ban protests. It would allow them. The final boss: apathy. This is the real killer. Not fear, not force, apathy. Americans wouldn't ask, is this authoritarian? They'd ask, does this affect me personally right now? And by the time it does, oops, too late. Conclusion: dry, slow burn. So no, America wouldn't dramatically overthrow a dictatorship. It would be normalized, justified, and defended by people wearing freedom merch. But don't worry, we'd still call ourselves the land of the free because branding is forever. Here's the part nobody tells you. Freedom doesn't disappear when people fight for it and lose. It disappears when people get tired, get comfortable, get distracted, and decide it's someone else's job. People didn't wake up one day and choose authoritarianism. They chose stability over accountability, comfort over conflict, silence over inconvenience. Every time. By the time people agreed it had gone too far, it had already become normal. Back in your time, you still argue about whether it could happen. Here in the future, that argument feels adorable. This isn't a warning. Warnings can be ignored. This is, my friends, this is a summary.